In this video, I'm going to show you how I make $15,000 a week with my agency Scale by Metrics, and this without running any paid ads. We're a small team of less than 5 people, and this is fresh new cash collected every week from new clients and not MRR from old clients paying us. I'm sharing a ton of value, so take notes and most importantly, apply those concepts because it doesn't serve you at all if you just watch the video and just move on with your life. So quick disclaimer first. What I share in this video is just my own experience and what I have done and what worked for over 50 clients that we worked with. And there are a lot of ways to get you the same results, but this is how I got here. So from 0 to 15K a month, first of all, we're going to talk about the essential foundations. And even if you're a little bit above 15K a month, it's very important for you to have these foundations in place, because if right now you're just relying on word of mouth or recommendations, well, it's not scalable and it's not predictable. So this is why you need these foundations, even if you're above 15K a month. And then from 15K to 50K a month, and this is the bracket I'm in, we're going to use the theory of constraints popularized by Alex Hormozi. We're going to talk about it, how to identify the constraint and what you do about it. We're going to talk about scaling challenges, how to recruit and build processes around it, how to use AI to be more efficient and outpace your competitors, and lastly, our learning and the next steps for Scale by Metrics, my agency, to go get to 100K a month by this summer. So from 0 to 10K a month, you need to follow the 1-1-1 ratio rule. This means that you need to only have one product or one service to one avatar with one acquisition channel. If you're already making 10K per month, but without a acquisition system that's reliable, you still need these basics. Like maybe you're like a full service marketing agency and you're selling a bunch of services and you have some people in your network coming to you for those services. Well, even if you're above 10K per month, you need to follow this rule if you actually want to have a reliable, predictable client acquisition system. And in order for your business to sign new client, you need attention. And this attention is what's going to generate sales calls in your calendar, and this is how you're going to close clients. But the question is how to get attention in the first place. There are 4 ways of generating attention these days. There's mechanical attention, organic attention, borrowed attention, and paid attention. So organic attention is just creating content and posting on different platforms. There's LinkedIn if you're on B2B. There's YouTube if you're B2B and B2C, or Instagram and TikTok if you're B2C. Mechanical attention means just doing prospecting and outbound. This might be cold email. This might be LinkedIn and Instagram DMs, cold calling. We don't care. The only thing that you need to make sure of is having a lot of outbound going on, because this is what's going to get you 5, 10, 15 meetings a month pretty consistently, compared to organic, which is not reliable, but at least you know that in the long run, it's going to produce a lot of results. Paid attention is just running ads on Meta, YouTube, and Google, and borrowed attention is leveraging someone else's audience with their podcast, collaborations, building partnerships. And in this phase, you typically have no money, lots of time, and little to no network. And using ads or borrowed attention is probably not possible for you. So this is what I did and what I recommend. First of all, open an organic channel. This is bare minimum, like at least one organic channel. I enjoy creating videos like this one, so I would use YouTube. Based on your preference, I recommend YouTube as the first choice. LinkedIn could also be your first choice. It's very good. We also have a video on the channel that we posted, I think, last week about it. I invite you to go watch it. And Instagram, if you're in B2C, could be a good place. Then you need to start outbound. If you're on YouTube, you can't DM your audience directly. So I would use cold email, and we do this for our clients. I know it works. It's just more competitive than it used to, but you can still generate 5, 10, 15 meetings a month with cold email if you know how to do it properly. And if you're on Instagram or LinkedIn, DM your audience and supplement the volume with cold email, because there is no better place to contact someone than your follower list. Go on LinkedIn and start DMing and actually building conversations with every single person that's going to follow your account, like or comment on your posts. You need to have an intro offer that converts cold traffic. No one trusts you as the start, so you need an intro offer that allows you to engage with clients. For example, a paid audit, a proof of concept, performance-based work, doing setups only, and then selling them on the consulting or something else after you've done the setup. It is critical to collect at least 2K to 2.5K per client upfront. Otherwise, you won't be able to scale. It's just very, very difficult to collect collect like $500 or $800 if you're not using paid ads as your main mechanism to acquire those clients and actually scale something. And when I say scale, I just mean like go past 10 or 15K a month. So having an intro offer that's priced around 2K to 5K is very good. And at this stage, you have only one job. It's to collect client interviews. And this is the thing that had the biggest impact on my business early on. I had a lot of people starting to give me testimonials on a video format, and I started posting those videos on YouTube and on my website. And when I had objections on sales call, I would just send these videos to my prospects, and it was way easier to close them afterward. So if you've reached this milestone, first of all, congrats. And if you're stuck between 10 and 15K per month, you have validated your offer, you have a way to generate meetings, but it's not predictable. You're able to convert a sales call, but it's not yet an optimal rate of booking your meetings, and you're probably still working alone in your business. So when you're going to go past 15K a month and go in that bracket of 15 to 50K per month, here the theory of constraints is quite suitable to actually help you go further. So concretely, your business cannot grow faster than your biggest constraint. This might be your number of meetings, your closing rate, your cash collected, your customer lifetime value, your LTV, and you must first, identify the weak link by analyzing your funnel data, then optimize this constraint until it's no longer a constraint and you can just scale. Once this step is resolved, a new constraint will appear and the process begins again. And this is exactly what we do for our clients. We identify this constraint together and solve it. So we work with B2B companies, businesses, agencies, freelancers, you name it. We don't do everything, but we help them usually with booking more meetings and closing more deals. So this is what it looks like when you have a leaky bucket, when you are building a business and you have a very poor show up rate, you're not closing consistently or high enough, you're not generating enough leads. Well, you're never going to go past that 10 to 15K per month. So now the question is how to identify your constraints. So let me show you this diagram real quick. First thing is you have leads, then you have your sales calls, then your show up rate, then your qualification rate, then your closing percentage, your cash collected, and your LTV or ascension rate. Your leads, it's just basically directly correlated to the volume, the number of conversations that you start, the number of opt-ins you're getting, the number of cold emails you send, the number of impressions or views your content is getting. And sales calls, you just want to make sure that you have a booked percentage from those cold email campaigns, from those conversations through DMs, there is high enough. But at the end of the day, leads and sales calls is just a volume game. You just want to be doing a shit ton of outbound, a shit ton of organic posting to try to get as many people on a sales call as possible. Once you have people on a sales call, you must make sure that your show up rate is at least 70% or above, your qualification rate above 75%, your closing percentage, I would say at least 20 to 25% would make it good. Cash collected, at least 60% cash collected up front, meaning if your offer is 10K, you need to collect at least 6K out of those 10K. And your LTV, shout out to Daniel Fazio from Client Ascension. He's the one who opened my eyes to this. If you have an LTV that's lower than 10K, it's usually a little bit harder to scale that business, not because it won't scale at first, but later on when you use paid methods, paid ads, and all this kind of stuff, your CAC to LTV ratio won't be good enough because these days it's super expensive to acquire clients. You might expect maybe to pay $1,500, $2K or even more to acquire clients. So these numbers are directly pulled from my business and our clients. So this is how I come up with these numbers. If you have a constraint somewhere, then you need to fix it. So you're probably not going to have only one constraint. You're probably going to have multiple constraints. And the questions you need to ask yourself is which one is blocking you the most? Which one is the simplest to fix? And which one can have a drastic impact on your business? In general, at this stage, it's either the number of leads or your closing rate that's a problem. And of course, I assume that you already have an intro offer above 2.5K. You have a proven offer because you're already selling to a cold traffic market, and your clients don't leave after 2 weeks. They're kind of sticky because you don't suck at what you do, and you should at least be half decent at the service you're providing. So now, how to fix this? The first thing is to track absolutely everything. So the number of organic posts, their performance, the number of cold emails sent, your KPIs from those cold email campaigns, the number of conversations that you have through the DMs on LinkedIn, on Twitter, on Instagram, and the booked meeting rate you're getting from this. At this stage, it's often a volume problem. And again, in Client Ascension, when I was in one of those coaching programs, Andre, one of the co-founders, gave me what they call a CEO dashboard, and this is something that really helped me. Basically, it's just like a Google sheet where you're going to track all of your inputs just to make sure that you're on track. If you say that you want to get to, I don't know, X tens of thousands of dollars a month with your business, and you reverse engineer it by understanding the number of sales calls that you need to have on your calendar, you then reverse engineer the number of cold emails and you need to send, the number of YouTube videos you need to post, the number of LinkedIn posts you need to make, and then you make sure that you stick to what you said you were going to do by tracking all the inputs every week in your CEO dashboards. So now, okay, you know that you need to do more volume, you need to send more emails, you need to post more on multiple platforms. Right now for us, it's LinkedIn and YouTube are our main acquisition channels. I've tried posting 3x, 5x the number of posts on LinkedIn to see if it was linear. Unfortunately, it is not, meaning that if I post 3 times the number of posts, it doesn't bring 3x the number of calls on my calendar. So now, what I'm starting to do is building an entire ecosystem around my brand. So we're posting on LinkedIn, we're posting on YouTube, we're posting on Instagram, and all of this attention gets funneled through my school community, which is a free school community. We just give a bunch of value there, and my newsletter. And everyone added to my newsletter gets added to my school and vice versa. After that, they start getting into my ecosystem and they start watching my YouTube channel, watching my reels, reading my posts on LinkedIn. And at some point, I don't know where, somewhere in this process, they will book a call with us. On top of this, we have all this organic working with us, but we also have cold emails. So we have 400 inboxes. We reach out to at least 10,000 unique prospects a month. Please bear in mind that right now we're mainly in the EU, and in the EU, reaching out to 10,000 unique prospects is enough to book 10, 15, 20 meetings a month. It's not the same in the US. You probably need more volume if you want to book more meetings. We have 5 campaigns running at the same time. Each campaign is a slight variation of an A/B test, and we have a setter that's just replying to our leads and booking meetings in our calendar. At the same time, I have a setter who's sending messages on Instagram and LinkedIn. We're trying to get to 100 new messages every single day, manual, personalized messages, and also doing the follow-ups that we need to actually book meetings with people that are actually interested. And most people stop here. They think that if they have enough content and enough outbound, they will just close more deals. But it wasn't my experience. What I realized is you also need to pre-frame your leads before the sales call. So what we do now is we have a landing page after someone books a call with us with a quick video explaining what they need to do, explaining how we operate. We have a small VSL on that page. We also have client testimonials, and we send a bunch of other stuff via email. So when someone comes to that sales call, it's way easier to close them. If we don't manage to get people to close on that first call, they usually go out and make some research on our company. This is when they're going to start watching my YouTube videos again. They're going to start watching our interviews with our clients on our websites. And then on that second call, usually they convert. If we don't manage to convert them, even if we brought them all the way to that second call from everything that I just showed you, the other thing that I started to do recently is have an objection handling sequence through my newsletter. So before that person gets added to my newsletter, we add them to a sequence where every day we send one email trying to basically handle one of the main objections that we have on sales call. And this helps a lot, because if someone didn't work with you, it's probably because one of the 5 or 10 most common objections you hear on sales calls. And if you can make them to change their mind like 1 week after this, because you've sent them these emails, you might recoup a bunch of money. And at the end of this sequence, then we add these people to the regular newsletter. So at this stage, your business becomes an attention machine. You just need to produce as much content as possible, do as much outbound as possible. You can no longer truly identify where your prospect is coming from. When I'm getting on sales call with people, they watch our YouTube channel, they are on a newsletter, they read our LinkedIn posts. So at the end of the day, I don't really know what converted them. And the hardest part here is just staying consistent. It's super hard to produce this volume of content and send this volume of messages and stay consistent with it. And I repeat, if you don't track your inputs, it's extremely difficult to see the correlation between inputs and outputs. And I never seen a successful business owner not tracking his inputs. So this is extremely important. Most people at this stage are just going to tell me, hey, I don't have time to do all this. Well, if you don't have time, you have two choices. First of all, you can pay for someone else's services, or you can just learn it yourself and do it. But you cannot just stay exactly where you are and do the exact same thing you've been doing and expect different results. So for us, what really changed the game is AI agents. So let me explain. So first of all, I have a bias because I am an AI engineer, but this is accessible to everyone. I spend no more than 30 minutes a day on my content creation and prospecting. I produce dozens of pieces of content across all platforms, and my prospecting campaigns are ultra targeted and personalized using Clay and AI. So what is an AI agent? An AI agent is an AI that is used for a specific task. You can't use GPT for everything. First, you need to know which AI to use. Is it OpenAI? Is it Claude? Is it another one? And then each project that you're going to create in these AIs must be assigned one task only. Is it copywriting? And if it's copywriting, is it LinkedIn posts? Is it your newsletter? Is it your scripts for your short form content? You cannot have one AI for everything. They must be super, super specialized. They also need to be trained. It's not just about having a good prompt. AI need to be trained on your style, your brand, the constraints and rules to follow. Otherwise, you'll end up with robotic content or irrelevant messaging. AI needs to know everything about you and your business, but most importantly, everything about your client avatar, their fears, their desires, their problems, your competitors, what is your offer, your promise, and everything in between, so that AI can help you build the right type of content so that you can convert the right type of traffic. And at the end of the day, it just makes you go faster. It doesn't replace you. It makes you go faster. In one morning, I can have 10 of my LinkedIn posts made, my scripts for my newsletter and my short form content, and personalize my prospecting email using Clay and other tools. So if you don't personalize your prospecting messages, have a valid reason to contact your prospects using segmentation, use automations to know who to respond to and when so that you can be quick at replying to your leads, it won't work. Unless, of course, you have a truly unique and amazing offer. If that's the case, usually pretty much everything you do is going to work. But if you have a good offer, a strong offer that works and converts cold traffic, but it's not like extraordinary, usually you need all this. So on top of using AI agents, you need to hire people at some point. It's almost impossible to reach this level without hiring. You can't do everything alone. You need to track your time, identify where you spend the most time, create SOPs and processes, hire where it hurts the most, and manage the team. So step one is tracking and identification, meaning you need to identify where you're spending most of your time. I'm using a tool called Clockify. It's 100% free. You must spend a maximum amount of time generating calls and closing your sales calls. That's your role as a CEO at this stage of your business. So if you're not spending at least 70 to 80% of your time doing this, there is a problem. And Clockify helped me identify where I was spending most of my time, and I understood that I was basically spending all my time on client work. And this is when I knew I had to hire. At this stage, what I did before even hiring someone is building processes and SOPs. The first thing you need to do for each task is identify the process and micro steps involved, add all necessary information to a Notion, film yourself performing the task, and add the required resources and training. And this looks something like this. On Notion, just have a Loom video of yourself doing the task and have everything laid out but in written word as well. Step 3 is hiring where it hurts the most. You'll probably hire in 2 areas first. First of all, delivery, because you want to delegate the delivery first, and also setters, because you want to create more content and take more sales calls yourself. So hiring a setter will help you get off that setting process on the LinkedIn DMs, the cold emails, and the Instagram DMs. And you need to put as much effort into your recruitment funnel for the delivery team and the setters as in your acquisition funnel. Otherwise, you're just going to end up with people that are incompetent. And for me, the way I did it is I used LinkedIn job ads and Indeed job ads. The best way I found is to spend a few $100s on these job boards. You can also use your network, your audience, maybe Twitter, I don't know. I use the hiring VSL and a sales page. So when we recruit at Scale by Metrics, I take the time to sell the position with great copywriting as if I were selling a product. I create a video to truly stand out from our competitors and attract the highest quality talent. I also collect applications using a Typeform. I ask relevant questions, especially about their skills, and I require them to film a Loom video. Otherwise, I just don't even look at their application. Step 4 is templated project management system on Airtable. So all onboarding and client management is templated. For every new client, we know exactly what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, by whom, and each task has an associated SOP. So it looks something like this. Every time we have someone that joins the company, they just open up the dashboard and they know exactly what we need to do, what's the deadline, and they also have the link to the dedicated SOP so that they know exactly how to perform that task. So I would love for you to let me know in the comments, what do you need the most help with? Let me know in the comments just so I know what to create content around. I'm not trying to sell anything yet. I'm just like showing everything that I know and what I'm doing in my business. And I'm curious to know what is the biggest challenge of my audience in the comments. Next steps for us to get to 100K per month. First of all is more organic. So we will double the number of LinkedIn posts, add video content on LinkedIn and not just do written words. We will accelerate growth on Instagram and just starting to post more. We're starting working with an outside agency that's going to do the editing for us. By the way, you can follow me, link in the description on Instagram. We also need to be consistent in delivering value through our school and newsletter. For outbound, we're going to contact 10K to 15K new prospects per month via cold email. As again, we're in the EU market, so it's smaller. If I was in the US, I would probably go for like 30, 40K, 50K unique prospects a month. We're going to start 1,000 conversations per week through Instagram and LinkedIn with our setter team. We will bring a cold caller at Scale by Metrics to boost our outbound and prospecting efforts so that someone can start using the phone and not just the digital methodologies, because our competitors usually are too lazy to cold call prospects. So if we have a cold caller, it's a differentiator compared to our competitors. In the recruitment side, it's almost time for me to step back from sales and client comm. I think I need to hire a customer success manager, and I will hire a closer as well. Ads will come later. I already signed a few clients from Facebook ads profitably, but I stopped them due to a lack of time. It takes a lot of time to actually figure this shit out. It was profitable, but I was spending a ton of money on it, and I just didn't have the time to just figure it out at scale, but we will do it at some point. And again, let me know in the comments what you want to see on this new channel so I know what to do videos on. Thank you so much. It was Othman, and see you next week.